Hi, welcome to our TNT. It's the last day of the working week. Now that means that tomorrow we'll be doing our live program between 9 and 10 a.m. Thai time. Then on Sunday, of course, we'll have Grumpy Old Men with Mr. Steve Ross with an E, who very kindly yesterday supplied me with, tens and tens of books. We're sort of going to start a bit of a library in the area. Now initially it's going to be at our beach houses because, I suppose I've got some space there. Steve's running out of space with all his collections and goings on there. So, we'll probably be inviting people. If you want to send us a book or two that you may have read, we'll invite you in the future, maybe on the Sunday program. Let's get into today's main news stories and, starting here. The Bangkok-Post.com reporting a man opens a plane door, deploying the slide during the takeoff. And there is the slide deployed and all ready to go. Interesting, I didn't know the slides come with lights. I suppose that would be helpful if you had some sort of disaster at night time and you needed to know where you're going. And a Canadian national has found himself in police custody after opening an emergency door on a Thai Airways international flight bound for Bangkok, triggering the deployment of an inflatable evacuation slide. And it happened at Chiang Mai Airport, and it happened on Wednesday night. According to witnesses, just moments before the scheduled 9:05 p.m. departure, a 40-year-old rushed to open a front emergency door, automatically triggering the deployment of the exit slide. And the Airbus A320 plane between Chiang Mai and Bangkok came to a halt. Another passenger and flight attendant successfully subdued the individual, who allegedly insisted that he believed someone was about to attack him. Well, the only saving grace with this particular story is that it happened on the ground, not up in the air. We go to some more coverage of this story from the patianews.com. And a Canadian tourist sparks panic, attempts to open an aeroplane door while taking off from Chiang Mai Airport, and it reports that about 13 flights were temporarily suspended, with a total of 2,296 passengers affected by the incident. And furthermore, it says the Chiang Mai Airport held a security committee meeting with airline representatives, police and relevant agencies to discuss the matter and solutions to prevent future incidents. Well, I'm not exactly sure what you can do to stop these incidents happening in the future. Be interested to hear your comments as to ways to perhaps mitigate these sort of emergencies. I mean, they do happen from time to time. And it says the man claimed that he was going to be attacked and, as a result, fled the plane. Multiple witnesses and flight attendants stated to the Thai media that there was no sign of anyone trying to attack the man or of him having any sort of altercation with anyone else on the flight. And that gentleman remains in custody. Going to our next story now from Thai PBS World, and personal information of 20 million elderly Thais for sale on dark web. Well, out of a population of some 70 million, 20 million elderly Thais would probably mean most of them. And about 20 million sets of personal information of elderly Thai people has been leaked from the Department of Older Persons in the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security and put up for sale on the dark web. And the leak was first reported on January 22 by Resecurity, an American cybersecurity company based in Los Angeles. And the personal information includes names and ID card numbers, phone numbers, emails, salaries, and pictures of the individuals. I mean, that's a huge privacy breach. And a Move Forward Party MP noted that the data could have been leaked when a state agency hired a private firm to develop an online application. He suggested that the government speed up the cloud-first policy, which could prevent data leaks. Well, it's up to all of us, including government departments, to do whatever we can to beef up our security online. There were plenty of scams yesterday, there'll be more today, and even more tomorrow. And a quick invitation to support our sponsor, 5-Star Marine, at 5starmarinephuket.com. If you are coming down to the south of Thailand, you want to head out, look at all the magnificent, beautiful islands around Phangar Bay. Plenty of lonely beaches there as well. then I would recommend that you contact 5 Star Marine, have a chat to Sean and the team there, and let them take you on a bespoke private charter tour out to any of those islands. Let's go to our next story now, and covered in the Bangkok Post, Tawi wades in on legal weed debate. Now, plenty of discussion about this issue in the lead up to a new bill. I think it's called the Cannabis and Hemp Control Bill, going to the Cabinet apparently next Tuesday. And the Justice Minister says the proposal aims to address concerns regarding the use of cannabis in the absence of legislation to regulate its use and prevent its abuse. And he says the abuse of cannabis by people under 18 is one of the prime concerns voiced by people. And the findings of a public forum on January 29 on the delisting of cannabis in Kratom indicate cannabis use does not align with the legal amendments intended to support its medical use and research purposes. And just trying to decode that, does not align with the legal amendments intended to support its medical use and research purposes. And he goes on further saying cannabis is widely used for recreational purposes and easily available online. That situation will not change whether it's legal or not. He says it exposes people under 18 to the herb and encourages them to try or experiment with other narcotic substances. He might be called for further evidence on that particular claim. Then further down, moreover, a Centre for Addiction Studies shows a sharp increase in cannabis usage among people aged 18 and 19. And foreign visitors carrying cannabis products from Thailand face arrest in other countries, indicating that cannabis is still recognised as a narcotic substance. And the Minister also clarified that the new version of the Cannabis and Hemp Control Bill, to be proposed to the Cabinet meeting next week, does not seek to recategorise cannabis parts as a narcotic. Well, that's contrary to what we were told last week by the Public Health Minister. Let's see if we can find out more. Currently, he said, it isn't classified as a narcotic. Only extracts with more than 0.2% THC are classified as a narcotic substance. Well, in other words, all the bits that give you the high. And the Secretary-General of the Cannabis Future Network yesterday voiced opposition to any attempt to classify parts of the plant as a narcotic. He reiterated his call for the ministry to compare benefits of cannabis against alcohol, tobacco and methamphetamine, and let the public decide which should be listed as a narcotic substance and which should be allowed for use. Well, I don't think that's going to happen, but we have had plenty of commentary about this for some reason, some of it particularly abusive. But this one from a different angle, and it comes from Bill G. And, he said, I interviewed one of the shop managers on my YouTube channel a few weeks ago. Now, I don't actually know what the YouTube channel is, but he said we had a long discussion into what is required to open a legitimate shop and broccoli farm. One thing was clear to me: when the government decriminalised broccoli, they were not concerned about the recreational use. In order for a legitimate store to open, all employees must complete an online course. In addition, every store that opened is to be licensed with permits issued by the government. Surely the government was aware that all these overnight shops opening up all of a sudden were not just selling medicinal broccoli. There are restrictions placed on the farming of broccoli as well. To be clear, the Thai government opened up Pandora's box 18 months ago and is now trying to put the demon back into the box. The policies have been set by the government on how to open and operate these shops. Now, due to the people's majority mandate from the previous election, they're going to try to regulate their way out of the mess they started. While the government claims that recreational broccoli was never legalised, they sure didn't do much to stem the growth of the industry. An interesting perspective there from that YouTuber, and if you'd like to send me a link to your YouTube channel, sir, I'll be happy to publicise it. But yes, we've got the meeting of the Cabinet on Tuesday and probably hear more information after that. So coming to you today for the TNT program from Chip Fair Lele here at the Turtle Beach along the main road. Pretty hard to miss it. Now we go to the next story in Phuket. And a British man arrested for allegedly exchanging counterfeit money in Phuket. And the story coming to you from the PhuketExpress.com. And it happened in Thailand, where an exchange booth staff member said that a foreign man had exchanged €1,000 in cash for 37,850 baht, and it happened in Saku, that's not too far from the airport. And then police arrested a suspect identified as Mr. Tobias, 33, a British national, and they seized from him €17,800 in counterfeit cash, £5,400 in genuine sterling cash, and some genuine Thai cash, some 200,000. And we go to some more coverage on this story from CalSodenglish.com. A British man caught exchanging bogus euros in Phuket, another flees. And some more information here. Police detained a 33-year-old British citizen, and this story names the British citizen as Tobias Drew. And he told police he entered Thailand on December the 2nd, extended his stay until January the 31st, and he met Mr. Ozias da Silva, 46, also a British national, and they stayed together at the MBC Condotel in Macau. And then Mr. Tobias said he transferred some $34,900 in cryptocurrency and received about 200 euro bills and used some of the money to exchange it for Thai baht. Police investigations revealed that Mr. Tobias exchanged €1,000 at a bureau in Kamala on February the 7th and at another bureau de change in Katu. And Mr. Ozias exchanged €3,000 at 3 different booths in Thailand. So it doesn't really sound like it was an honest mistake. Or counterfeit? Oh, I had no idea. Now, just a few months ago, we were reporting that Thai Airways was shopping around for some new planes. Now, let's find out what happened as we go to Bangkok-bound.com. And Thai Airways orders 45 Boeing 787s plus options. Now, these are sort of a mid-size double-aisle plane, a bit of a workhorse for a lot of airlines. And Thai Airways has placed a firm order for 45 Boeing 787s with options to potentially boosting the size of the deal to around 80 aircraft as it serves rising international travel demand. Let's hope it doesn't include any of those 737s with the bolts missing. And the deal, to be formally unveiled later this month, is already reflected in Boeing's published order backlog as a contract for 45 planes with an undisclosed customer. And Boeing declined comment and referred questions to the airline. Yeah, I think they've got a few other matters to attend to at the moment. And with that, we thank you very much for dropping in today. Hopefully, you're a bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. Tomorrow, we've got our free-for-all, 1 hour of power, just you and me and some topics and some comments and questions. So join us from 9 a.m. Thai time tomorrow morning. And then we've got Grumpy Old Men on Sunday. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.